Hi, it's Natalie and welcome back to my channel. I work with a lot of female entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, and women who sell their expertise in the form of an online course, right? I essentially help them grow their impact and income and scale with simplicity. Today, I'm going to be showing you essentially my own entrepreneurship journey around probably so almost 4 years ago, I started my entrepreneurship journey, and how I'm going to talk specifically about how I went from 0 to 10K months in around 3 months, and as much to last year when I was making around 50 to 70,000 cash collected per month from a following of only 2,600 followers, and then how I grew my following rapidly, right? And a whole lot more. So if you're interested in entrepreneurship, what you should do first, and then how to go about growing, building a team where I am today, and then expanding further, then you're in the right spot. If you're a coach or a course creator and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. I put out new videos just like this one. If you're super excited about this topic, then like the video. This really helps me and the algorithm and helping more people see my content. I really love making videos like this, but it helps me out when more people are able to see it. Okay, so let's get started today and talk a little bit about my own entrepreneurship journey, what I did like when I was first starting, how I made the decision, and then where I am today. So around 4 years ago, I was in a corporate marketing job. Okay, I worked in a corporate marketing job. I traveled a lot with this job. And I remember I was in New York City at the time, and I just really wasn't enjoying my job because of the company culture, and then how much I traveled and how much I worked for how little I was paid, right? So I made around $28,000 a year in this job. And I really wanted to be able to use my English degree. I had an English degree back from college. I wanted to be able to use this degree, and I had a dream. I was like, how can I get paid to write from home, right? That was the big grand idea. And so I decided to quit that job without notice and go full on into entrepreneurship. Now, technically, here's mistake number one that you don't want to make whenever you're starting a business. And this is what I really wish I hadn't done. So I went into this big I need to learn a ton of new different skills in order to be a successful entrepreneur. So I was like, I should learn more about website design so I can put up my own website. I should really get better at logos so I can design myself a logo. I spent all this time, I spent months without any clients, and I actually just went and got a job at a pizza joint down the street from my apartment until I figured out this whole entrepreneurship thing. But I wasn't really being an entrepreneur. All I was doing was learning more things and trying to accumulate more skills that I thought would be helpful for starting my business. And that's not what I needed to do at all. So essentially what I needed to learn how to do, and you'll hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about this, but you need to be able to develop a high income skill. So what do I mean by a high income skill? I was already great at writing. I already had experience back in college. So I started my first business actually when I was 18 in college, and I used to tutor students, right? And that even turned into tutoring students how to write essays in order to get scholarships and get into university and stuff like that. And so I was really great at writing. I had a ton of scholarships in college because of my writing skills. I really learned how to sell myself. Now, a really great high income skill is copywriting, which is essentially sales writing, right? So my English degree technically didn't teach me copywriting, right? But I needed to, if anything, what I needed to do was do more research and then go out and get experience within copywriting itself, right? So I probably had some limited experience back in my other job, but it wasn't a great deal of experience in that kind of marketing position. So really when I started my own business, instead of trying to add on all these extra things for developing a logo that doesn't matter, or developing a website that doesn't matter, or what's some other stuff that I did? I just basically watched a bunch of videos on YouTube, technically about entrepreneurship, when I should have been channeling all of that energy into trying to get clients. I'd already decided, hey, I'm going to be a copywriter and a content writer. I should have full on channeled all of that energy into getting my first clients, getting that experience, and then furthering my knowledge in what I had decided that I was going to go into, right? And instead, I wasted a lot of months. Essentially, this is why I don't say, like, I'll say started my business in parentheses, because really I didn't start my business until probably 4 months later, when I actively was like, okay, this is what I need to do to go get clients for this thing. And then this is what I'm going to fully put all of my attention towards to get more clients. Once I did that, very quickly, I got my first client, then I got more clients. And then 3 months from that time period, that's when I hit 10K months. Right? So really, if you're thinking about starting a business, what you want to do is make sure you're focusing on a high income skill, actively getting clients for that high income skill, right? And this can be a variety of things. So it doesn't have to be like copywriting like me, because now my business has shifted, right? I then had a marketing agency. Then I started helping people specifically with marketing to get more clients for their business. But you really want to think about here, where do my skills lie? And then how can I help develop that skill? And then simultaneously, I need to start working with clients immediately. What do I need to do? Client acquisition is what you gotta focus on. What do I need to do today to start getting clients? Don't procrastinate on this. Don't feel like, oh, I got to acquire all these other little random skills like business cards and websites and logos and everything else that actually doesn't matter. Go full in on getting clients. Okay? I really wish I would have known that. Now, let's talk about then, how did I make that transition from going from 0 to 10K months to then eventually where I got myself and I was able to do with my business. I was at that like 50 to 70K month range pretty much all last year. And I was a solo entrepreneur, I would say, until about August, September of last year, once I started building more of a team. Okay? Before I get into that topic, I do want to let you know that I actually have a free Facebook group. Okay, it's specifically for female entrepreneurs that want to learn either how to start or scale their coaching business. And I have exclusive trainings within that Facebook group that you can't find anywhere else. Like specifically how I grew my following to 24,000 people in just 2 weeks. I also have a training on like how I manifested going from 0 to 10K months, which I just told you as a story. I go more in depth into the mindset that I had to focus on, the different skills that I had to develop in order to actually make that happen. And it's all exclusive trainings inside of my Facebook group. You also get to communicate directly with me, which is really cool, right? So if you'd like to join that, it's absolutely 100% free. I have the link in the description below where you can join. Okay, so I hope to see you there. I hope to see you there whenever I do any of those exclusive trainings there, right? Now, let's get into it. So what was the shift that I made that had me, so I was initially in that first year, I was more of a freelancer is essentially it, right? So everything was on me. All of my writing projects were on me. And then I got the idea because I was like, okay, I have essentially capped myself at this point. I'm working a lot. I've capped myself because I can't take on any more writing projects, right? And it's really difficult to also maintain getting new clients while having to do all of these writing projects. So that's when I got into more of an agency model. That's what I did in my second year in business, is I ran more of an agency. So I had a couple of people under me who I essentially trained in what I was doing for companies, and then I started actually consulting these companies. So what was really cool is I went from, in one company, it was a supplements company. It's called Sun Warrior Protein Powders and Supplements. You can look them up if you'd like. I actually wrote a lot of the content on their website before. I even wrote the words that like go on some of their different protein powders and different supplements that they were selling. I wrote what was actually on those bottles. And then I moved into, okay, now I've taught these other people under me how to do it. And then I started giving them more just overarching marketing advice. So then we started getting into how we could use email campaigns better. Then I was more a strategist right? Where I was essentially strategizing. I'd meet with them. I'd say, hey, this is what I think we should be doing. And then I had people under me who were executing the things. And once I did this and I got more clients where I was doing that, where I was working with different companies like FitOn, which is a fitness app and stuff like that, what it allowed me to do is it freed up a lot of time. I learned that I really loved consulting people and I loved being in this kind of teacher role, which makes a lot of sense for me because I used to do a lot of teaching back in college, like I said, when I was 18. So I started a tutoring business, right? So I really enjoyed teaching people things, and so it seemed to fit better with me and my own goals. Once I did that, I started having a lot more people just come to me for marketing advice and wanting to get more clients, right? This is when I transitioned into, and I really honestly, this is my favorite business model I've ever had, which is transitioning more into a coaching, and then eventually I transitioned it into an online course model where it has a coaching component to it, and then it also has an online course kind of roadmap that teaches people how to sell their expertise in the form of an online course, right? So I started working with people one-on-one in that first, then I did groups, now I have an online course, and eventually what allowed me to scale is I was really focusing on, hey, how do I get better client results? Then I was also focusing on sales. This is when during this period of time, I had a very small following, but I was making around $70,000 per month in cash in my business. And that's because I learned how to utilize Instagram as a tool to get clients consistently. All of my clients came from Instagram, right? So if you're curious yourself, hey, how do I use Instagram as a tool to get clients, right? So a couple things. You can absolutely follow me on Instagram right now. It's at Natalie Santa Rosa. I give out a lot of daily tips on how to use the platform to get more clients, as well as if you're just in general kind of curious, I actually have a mini course that teaches you how to master client attraction on Instagram in just 7 days. Right? It's super duper affordable. It's like less than the cost of Lululemon leggings, which is an absolute bargain. It teaches you the skills that I've learned in scaling my own business and helping over 200 women with scaling theirs using Instagram. So if you'd like to go check that out, I am going to drop that in the description below as well, right? So after I made this transition to having my own online course, I started working with more people. I realized that in order to get to the next level in my business and then also to be able to get a lot of my time back, something that I really, really needed to do is I needed to build out a team for this. So I had built out a team in that marketing agency level where we were fulfilling different clients. I would come up with a strategy and then they would fulfill it, right? But now what I realized is I was running into kind of time blocks where I was spending so much time booking appointments with potential clients, like that takes a lot of time, creating all of the marketing material, then having to be on all of the sales calls that led to those type of cash months. And it became very overwhelming. And I would go through different periods of feeling kind of burnt out, honestly. So it was during this time that what I did is I was like, okay, I need to bring on people to alleviate some of this. So I brought on first, and this is what I would recommend. I also have a whole other YouTube video that if you're curious, hey, what are those first steps for starting your business as an online coach, and then how do you move through the phases, right? So what you really want to do is hire an appointment setter first, and then get yourself a closer, and then also closer for calls, right? And then also get someone to help you with managing client results, right? I now have people in all those positions. It makes things run a lot smoother, and then able to focus more on what I'm really good at, which is coming up with new ways and really experimenting with social media to get more clients. I love doing stuff like that, creating valuable content for you all. I love doing stuff like that, right? And it allows me to shift my focus of genius to those things. And then also I get to spend more time with my clients. I now even have a mastermind program where I'm helping people get to $50,000 a month or even higher in their business, right? Which is really awesome. And it's allowed me to shift and get a lot more of my time back, right? Now, finally, the last thing that I said I was going to talk about is how I grew my following, right? How did I go from having around 2,600 followers to then eventually I had I grew to a point that we got to 30 or like upper 20s, upper 20,000s or something like that, right? How did I go about doing that? So it's a mixture of a couple of different things, right? This is also what I teach inside of that Instagram Client Machine course too. But it's a mixture of doing something called Instagram shoutouts, right? Where pages which were kind of, still within my niche, they would essentially, I would give them content to post on their page. A lot of people would then come follow me from that, as well as my own reels, right? Since that time though, what I would say is I grew really fast and rapidly because I was really focusing on creating like super engaging content. Now, here's why I say that you don't necessarily need to focus solely on massive growth when it comes to getting clients from Instagram. I really think it's more about focusing on and channeling the greatest type of growth for yourself. For instance, I really think that it's more important to have what I call a platinum following, meaning people who are really invested in what you have to offer, than to just attract a ton of people that may not even be interested in what you have to offer at all, right? So with that said, right, when it comes to, yes, that's how I grew really fast, but if I were you, I would really focus on honing in the sources, honing in on, I like to think of there's 3 sources for getting followers on Instagram, and that's 1, your Instagram bio, 2, reels, and then 3 is kind of like that cross-pollinating followings, and just creating really, really engaging content. But what I would say is concentrate more on how you can better serve what your ideal client is and focusing on them rather than just, hey, what's a popular trend and how can I amass more followers? That's my personal, what I would recommend, especially after growing so quickly. And then what I recommend to help you also increase your sales, okay? All right, everybody, I'm gonna end it there. Okay, I'm going to end it there. That's basically kind of in a nutshell my entrepreneurship journey. If you'd like me to create more videos like this, or if you have a specific topic about entrepreneurship that you'd like to learn more about, just comment it below, okay? And I'll make a video about it. All right, and again, be sure to like, subscribe to this video, hit that notification bell because I put out new videos just like this one every single Friday.